Hello everybody and welcome back to Let's Play some Final Fantasy XIV. Now a little disclaimer, my original commentary track for this episode somehow got corrupted. So this is all like post-commentary like 2.5 months after I originally recorded this episode, so please forgive any awkwardness. So we've just defeated the Lord of Levin, hooray, and he decided, that we're, pretty cool dude and, he's gonna entrust, us to, for the safety of Eorzea and all that crap, and that we are worthy, and yada yada yada. Okay, you're not so bad after all. Okay, I guess I can trust the humans a little bit. Maybe they're not quite so much bastards, but if you screw me over, I swear. Okay. Alright, so first, before we head back to the obligatory, meeting back at the Rising Stones with our fellow Scions, first we actually need to report back to the Elder Seats here that, hooray! Yeah, we solved the Ramu problem, everything is all cool in the 12s wood now, and yeah. I still don't know why they call them the Silent Conjurer. He's pretty talkative. The music in this place, by the way. So apparently I decided to screw talking to everybody else, but whatever.
You are returned to us, dear friend, and none the worse for bearing the heavy burden which I did press upon you. Most glad am I of this. I am informed that your efforts to negotiate a peace with Lord Ramu ended in conflict. Pray tell me, what befell?
He kinda said, dude, fight me. Prove your worth. And it was awesome.
Ramu made trial of you? I fear there is truth to his claim. It is the darkness within us that attracts the darkness without.
Yeah, we know. Darkness in the hearts of men, yada yada yada. Yestola's gone through this a zillion times already.
It cannot be denied that misfortune follows man. For evidence, one need only look to the conflict brewing in Cartano, or to the rising flood of refugees.
Well, there's not really
Our
that much
conflict
in Cartano right now anyway, so yeah.
Yet the ties which bind the Alliance strain under the weight of gross self-interest. As the scars of the calamity begin to fade, so too does our sense of common purpose. Yet now is scarce the time to forget our shared responsibility. If this new-sprung realm is to survive beyond its infancy, it must needs be nurtured by all.
Yeah, take note of what she's talking about right here. It'll be relevant later.
Eorzea must be as one. Yet I fear that dream is still far off.
'Cause y'all been sitting on your asses, that's all I'm saying.
On behalf of the people of Gridania and the elementals both, I thank you for all that you and your fellow Scions have done.
You are very welcome.
Full oft have I been compelled to look to you for aid of late, and offered all too little in return. As leader of this nation, I shall endeavor to prove a more worthy ally to your cause henceforth.
Well, you could always pay me, give me money. Well, that's kind of redundant. Have a feast for me, like maybe a big party. Anything?
Lord Ramu has departed, yet the keening of this ill wind grows no less insistent.
I had to wait till everyone left to have this inner monologue.
Voices of the forest, pray speak and I shall listen. What unseen evil begets this unease in my heart?
Yeah, see, we kicked everyone out to have this little monologue, and yeah. Yeah, see? See? He is not always dumb. Ah, she's got a good idea. Well, you didn't really do anything, and that includes anything bad. You just kind of got separated from everybody else. I would like to see that. That should have been cute. Bitch, Papalima was less than happy about that, though. Yes! Tell me why I had to get the goggles from that go on top of the goggles to record this for him. There's apparently having trouble teleporting over here. Oh, post-commentary. Why must you be so awkward? But before we have our little meeting, let's do our obligatory talk to everybody and see how their dialogue has changed. I look forward to telling you. You stay safe, okay? No more going out on these mining trips and getting yourself in trouble. What's up, dude? Well, it's alright. Well, the beard is certainly fluffy. Cute. Your mileage may vary on that. Well, maybe you'd like to have me try that sometime. Like what? What are you doing here? Here's an idea. Go outside. But I suppose you're not going to be able to go far anyway, so that's okay. I suppose we can deal with telling people about our adventures and whatnot and let them fill in the blanks until one day they can explore it for themselves. So there's only 2 of the children here. I don't know where the other 2 kids are right now. They may be outside. I don't know. A lot of times they're not even inside anyway, but... What's up, boss? When don't you come out and socialize with everyone for once on occasion, huh? Okay. Now, I do distinctly remember I let this cutscene play out and then describe my thoughts at the end because things move really fast and it's best left without interruptions in the middle.
If everyone is ready, let us begin. Urianger, the floor is yours.
As all here assembled now know, in its final hours as our Order's headquarters, the waking sands did play host to a most unexpected visitor. I speak of the Ascian clad in white, Elidibus. Unwelcome though his presence was, his words that day did serve to confirm a truth long suspected, that the Ascians are eternal beings, to whom physical destruction is as a temporary inconvenience.
In the intervening time, Urianger and I have striven to discover a means by which the Ascians might more permanently be slain.
And 'tis my belief that we have found the thread that will allow us to unravel the twisted skein of their existence. In the moments prior to Leviathan's most recent manifestation, the Sahagin elder who summoned him was observed to undergo some manner of ascension. The etheric readings taken by Y'shtola at the time of this transfiguration have proven most enlightening.
The disruption to the flow of ether was sudden and dramatic. So tangible was the agitation, I scarce had need of my goggles.
The significance of Y'shtola's readings might better be understood in the context of mine own, taken at the instant of the Lord of Levin's demise. Unlike the Primal, the Sahagin was not subject to etheric dissipation.
Before discussing our new discoveries, it may benefit us all to recall what we know of etheric behavior. let us begin at what some might call the end. When we who dwell in the material realm die, our spirits dissolve into the flow of ether and are returned to the ethereal realm. In turn, the restless energy which suffuses that plane streams back into our world, giving rise to new life.
'Tis as the heavens did decree, the way of all mortal souls. Twixt this world and the next do the ethereal currents swirl, bearing the very essence of life. Thus doth the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth continue unabated.
Primals behave somewhat differently. In order to manifest and then maintain a physical presence in this realm, they must consume vast quantities of ether, most often in the form of crystals. Though they may seem to live, their flesh is but ether given shape. Thus, a defeated primal leaves behind no broken corpse. Rather, the essence of its form seeps back into the land whence it came, and the energy of its shattered spirit is called back to the ethereal realm.
And there it waiteth, till next the prayers of the faithful do draw it forth from the sea of ether, to take their offering of crystals and make for itself a new body.
Which brings us on to the third group, the so-called immortals. They exist in a manner all their own.
Quite. Even as the Sahagin elder fell to the Admiral's musket shot, I witnessed the release of an ethereal cloud, which immediately took possession of a nearby minion.
A soul that dissipateth not upon the death of the flesh.
The secret of life everlasting, and in the claws of a Sahagin no less. But I wonder, what would happen to one of these obstinate spirits should there be no suitable host for it to claim?
If mortal death entails a return to the ethereal realm, it seems doubtful that the soul of an immortal would venture there.
Nay, it merely withdraweth a distance, unto the shore of the ethereal sea, perchance, but no further.
Yes, it exists in neither this realm nor the next, abiding instead in the space that lies between them. The Ascians took control of Thancred by means of a crystal of darkness, an artifact which, if our theories are correct, serves as a gateway to the place I have just described.
I was hoping people had forgotten about that.
Fat chance, man. Fat chance.
I am sorry, my friend.
For a mercy, the weary road of our research hath brought us unto an answer.
The Sahagin ascended to an immortal state, but he did not possess a crystal of darkness through which to flee this realm. Thus was he consumed by Leviathan. If we could entrap the spirits of defeated Ascians in like manner, and thereby deny them resurrection...
Therein lieth the path to victory. Thou art most perceptive, my lady. Only when we have trapped the bodiless soul within an ethereal prison can we hope to defeat its unnatural constancy. Thus might even an eternal paragon be consigned to oblivion.
These feats are, of course, far easier said than done. At present, we lack a viable means to entrap and extinguish an Ascian soul. Yet, I believe it to be possible. The pieces of the puzzle lie before us. We have but to put them together.
I will depart at once to convene with the sages of Charlian. Together shall we divine the steps by which our goals may be achieved.
I have the utmost faith in you, Archon.
Beg pardon, antecedent, but I would raise one final matter. Even now, a Sharlayan survey party seeketh to ascertain the fate of the students of Baldessian. Their findings shall soon be known to us. Though you harbor feelings of dread, I bid you surrender not to sorrow, but abide instead in hopeful prayer.
I shall, Archon. Thank you.
He has a name, Minfilia, jeez! Really, you don't say. Yeah, we're not gonna count that other primal? You know, the big fat fluffy one? Okay. We'll just leave him out then. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Looks like the plot is thickening. Ah, you again. So if we're all on the same side here, we're all part of this plan, why are we sitting there monologuing about this? Nah, whatever. Maybe this is just what Ascians do, you know, being immortal, you know. Yeah, maybe they just get bored frequently. Let's sit here and discuss our mutual plans! Alright, totally awesome. And by the way, this is now like the third or fourth time that they've made a big deal about, oh my god, guys, the Ascians are like totally immortal. Yes, we already know that. This was like established way, way, way back when we were actually trying to free Thancred from the control of La Habrea once we discovered that little plot twist there. But I'm going to take some time a little bit to discuss what just went on in that conversation there. While most of that is true, there is a big problem I have with it, which unfortunately doesn't really get resolved until some of it is resolved somewhat in the expansion, but I'm not really going to spoil that for you guys. But anyway, I find it odd that they actually compare the primals more to the rest of us mortals than to the Ascians, because from what we've seen, they're actually a bit more similar to the Ascians than they are to us. So I'm rather confused about that, because one of the biggest things about the Ascians and what makes them different is because they can, you know, their souls and their consciousness can jump from body to body, and that they don't, you know, experience death in the way we do. You know, that's what makes them different. But the primals pretty much experience the same thing. I mean, they're slightly different from the Ascians, and because they you know, they don't manifest themselves by possessing. Like the Ascians, let me rephrase it. The Ascians, you know, take corporeal form in this realm by actually possessing somebody and using a crystal darkness to, you know, to facilitate that and whatnot. Well, the as they said, the primals are simply aether, you know, a shitload of it, given corporeal form. But when you kill, quote, an Ascian, and when you kill a primal, they both, you know, dissipate and return to their respective realms. People, the mortals, don't really do that. They just kind of die, and as they said, their energy, you know, flows to the ethereal realm, and then it gives, you know, birth to, like, new life and whatever, which is just obviously very similar to how it happens here, but just, you know, in this world, it's more of a, you know, a fantastical concept rather than a biological one, because, I mean, obviously, you know, when we die, our bodies decay and whatnot, and that facilitates, you know, the grass, and then, you know, circle life bullshit. Basically, I don't need to give you a biology lesson there. So yeah, I'm just rather confused. And not only that, but they've made a point about this, specifically in 2.1 with Good King Mogglmog the 12th, is that we don't really have a static definition for what a primal even is in the first place. Our research on that is actually really lacking. One of the few things we do know about it and how they describe them in the very, very, very beginning when we first joined the Scions of the Seventh Dawn is that they're godlike beings. Now, obviously, fans of Final Fantasy know that they're based on previous summons and aeons and Eidolons, or whatever the hell you want to call them, essentially that. And the other thing we know about them is obviously they're extremely powerful. They do care very much for their, children and whatnot, and that obviously they're summoned through a combination of fervent prayer and a buttload of aether, usually in the form of crystals. And obviously, I'm not done talking here, so yeah, but whatever. And obviously the crystals translate the amount of power they have in the current form. But that's pretty much all we know about the stinking primals. And here in this scene, they're acting like we know everything. I think we know more about the Ascians than we do the primals. Oh, they even wrote us a letter. Again, you're missing the Moogle. Yeah, that's the other thing too. I mean, I know obviously I talked a little bit less when I recorded this, but I don't like how they constantly dispute King Mog as not being a primal, because their whole reason for not considering and disputing his status, I guess you could say it, as a primal, is that there's no recorded history of him being summoned. Like, that's their sole freaking reason. Which is the most stupidest thing we've ever heard, because even Ramuh in this case this is only the second time he was ever summoned, so yeah. But because there's recorded history, he's considered a primal and the Moogle is not. What the hell? Yeah, we know. We're the big hero of the realm. Yay! We're not out of the woods yet, but hooray! Thank you for keeping us safe. All this nonsense. And my kitty is meowing in the background. And hey! Look at who we get a mention of! So yeah, people who wonder what happened to Alphino's sister, not only will that be eventually answered once we get to 2.4, but yes, she is mentioned in the main story as being still existing and actually what she's been up to. So yeah, I know so many people who haven't done the biting coil who, oh, who's there? Oh, hi, Short Stack, we were just talking about your sister and how she's not dead and everything. What's going on? Yeah, I remember he was helping deal with that refugee problem and stuff and whatever, and helping out Raban with that thing. And I think we last saw him right before we got called to deal with Ramuh. Oh, so her parents were all well and good and alive, and they still left her on the outside, possibly to deal with the freaking madman. Alright, awesome parents. Haha, busted! That's one of my favorite interactions, by the way. I just love how she takes a shot at him for actually remembering a girl's name for once. $10 said the girl hugged him or something. Like literally when they found their parents. This is how I imagine it. She just literally just fucking glommed him right to the goddamn floor. And thus he does not want to prefer to think about it. That's my headcanon, and I'm going with it. Okay. Yeah, I love how, we always wait for, everybody else before we talk about this stuff, and we didn't wait for you. That was kind of mean of us, actually. And forgive me if you can hear my kitty meowing at me in the background. She is hungry, even though I fed her like a half an hour ago before I started recording this. So obviously now that everyone's here again, we get some new dialogue. Yeah, let's drink in front of the other two chicks we've constantly been hitting on. Yeah. Oh. Shots fired at Thancred over there. Yeah, so we're more concerned about Thancred's drinking than we are about Ida sleeping on the job. And meanwhile, while all of you are sitting down, doing nothing. I mean, we're not really doing anything either, but I just slayed and made friends with a primal, so I think I deserve a break. For once. Maybe you want to look at Ida when you're talking to her. And I'm desperately trying to jump over the plant and fail at it. What's up, Mom? You might want to phrase that a little bit differently because now I'm a little scared. Again, I would like to try some of your Doman cultured meals. I'm surprised they like never added like a joke side quest for, you know, for her or something like that. And like we have to go gather some ingredients that's like, you know, some particular spice or herb or something like that. That's the closest that she can think of to cuisine in her homeland. And then, but unfortunately, it's like rare to come by or like guarded by like a vicious monster or some crap. So we go and get it, and then we try the food, and it turned out to be like super spicy and whatnot or something like that. And yeah, that's what I would like to see. Fortunately, that doesn't need to happen. So Hoary Boulder's over here entertaining the children. Yes, I do think he'll be strong enough. You just need to grow up and hit puberty first. Patience, young grasshopper. Patience. Alright, so as I completely glossed over because it wasn't really all that important, our old friend over here, who remember helped us break into the Imperial Stronghold and all that stuff, has a new quest for us. It's like, yeah, you're not helping us with anything right now, so why don't you go help somebody else for once? Okay, I don't think we should be fresh off the green. Adventures really shouldn't be in Revenant's Toll, because even though it's made some quite fine progress since we very first came here, even though we haven't really seen it in the game because I started this on this character late, but that's beyond the point. Yeah, it's still a little bit too dangerous for them. Like, send them to like the Adventurers Guild in like one of the main city-states or something. Like, really? Like, this is not the place for them. So over here in the Singing Shards, where he said we might find this gal, who's probably gotten herself into a bit of trouble. And she's actually hiding in a corner over here. But first, since we don't get attacked by absolutely everything in the freaking area, yeah, we're gonna like aggro these things and possibly kill a few of them. Nope. No, okay, I think we're good. Yeah, she's hiding in the corner, and we still have a presence over here. Well, at least she's actually hiding. Or trying to. And somebody's over there with their own chicken McNugget. Alright, you okay? You really shouldn't come here with an inexperience, alright? Well, since these guys spit fire at you, maybe you could have peed and put it out, huh? Huh? That would have been pretty awesome. Okay, I don't think it's appropriate that you're fangirling over me. Yeah, sure it was. Sure it was. I think you're a little too new to this adventuring thing. Yeah, you are talking out your arse. So now as I struggle to go through my menus to find my stinking emotes because I'm playing on a PlayStation 4 and I don't have my my hooked up keyboard handy. So I have to do this the hard way. Which is still faster than using, like, you know, the virtual keyboard they have in this game. So yeah, she's getting all angry at me. You can't see her sprite because I'm kind of blocking it, but there's a difference between a few risks and absolute suicide, girly. Okay? And why I'm riding my mount back instead of teleporting back, that I could not answer for you. Yeah. I only heard about half of that because I'm still cursing how stupid she could be in my head. Yeah. I swear, some of these new adventurers think they're so much hot shit, and yeah. So, I think that's it for this episode. My playlist still has another minute and a half in here, so, but I don't think I should actually start a quest after this. So, yeah, apologies for the awkwardness of the post-commentary of this episode. I tried really hard to see if I could piece together the non-corrupt snippets of the original, and obviously that didn't quite end up happening, so, yeah. So that was kind of bullshit. So, I shall see everyone later, and now, next episode, obviously, we'll resume with the live commentary again, woohoo, even though, by that point, it's like 2.5 months old.